In the heart of the Sahara Desert, where golden dunes stretch endlessly beneath a scorching sun, lies the enigmatic land of Mauritania, a nation where ancient traditions persist amid the tides of modernity. Here, the clash between the past and the present is not just a philosophical debate, but a stark reality that shapes lives in profound and often shocking ways. Among these, one of the most haunting and deeply entrenched customs is the practice of force-feeding young girls in preparation for marriage, a ritual known as gavage. For generations, Mauritanian society has equated a woman's size with beauty, status, and desirability. In rural communities, mothers oversee their daughters' transformation, ensuring they consume vast quantities of food, primarily camel milk, couscous, and butter, to achieve an idealized weight. The more corpulent a woman, the more respect she garners, as her size is perceived as a direct reflection of her family's wealth and her ability to manage a household. Girls as young as 5 are sent to fattening farms, where they are subjected to relentless feeding schedules, their childhoods replaced by the constant struggle to consume more than their bodies can handle. Refusal is met with punishment, and vomiting is not an escape. It only results in more food being forced upon them. The consequences of this practice are devastating. Many women suffer from obesity-related illnesses, chronic pain, and psychological scars that linger for a lifetime. The irony is cruel. While the rest of the world battles obesity with diets and fitness regimes, these women are fighting against their own bodies, trapped by societal expectations that dictate their worth through sheer volume. Sleepless nights, aching joints, and the gradual erosion of self-worth become their reality. And yet, the practice continues, perpetuated by generations of mothers who, having suffered through it themselves, now impose the same suffering on their daughters, believing it is the only way for them to secure a future. But this is only one facet of Mauritania's complex societal structure. In a corner of the country exists a rare phenomenon, one that starkly contrasts with the fate of these young girls. In some regions, divorced women are not shunned but celebrated. Markets specifically dedicated to them thrive, where they seek out new partners, their experience in marriage considered an asset rather than a flaw. Unlike many parts of the world where divorce carries stigma, here, it is often seen as a rite of passage. Women, having emerged from one marriage, are viewed as more adept, more skilled, and more desirable to potential suitors. At first glance, this appears to be a progressive shift, an avenue for female empowerment in a patriarchal society. However, beneath the surface lies a far more troubling reality. While some women navigate these markets with a sense of agency, many others, young girls with no say in their fate, are bought and sold into marriages that strip them of their autonomy. Their youth and innocence are commodities, exchanged for wealth and social favor. These forced unions deny them education, freedom, and even the right to dream of a different life. Caught in a cycle of dependency, they are left with no escape, their futures determined by the highest bidder. The shadows of tradition extend even further, casting a dark pall over Mauritania's most haunting secret, modern-day slavery. Despite global progress and laws that have long since outlawed such practices, Mauritania remains one of the last bastions of systemic enslavement. Here, an estimated 20% of the population lives in bondage, their existence dictated by generations-old social hierarchies. Born into servitude, men, women, and even children are forced into labor, their very identities erased by a system that refuses to acknowledge their humanity. They toil in silence, herding cattle, scrubbing floors, and performing grueling tasks without hope of freedom. Their suffering is invisible to the world, hidden behind the veil of cultural norms that perpetuate the practice. Even as international organizations push for reform, local authorities often turn a blind eye, allowing the cycle to persist. Corruption and secrecy shield the perpetrators, ensuring that justice remains an unreachable dream for the enslaved. Fear keeps the victims silent, and society's reluctance to confront its darkest truths ensures their voices remain unheard. Mauritania stands at a crossroads, caught between the weight of its traditions and the demands of a changing world. As tourism brings curious outsiders to its ancient cities, they see only the beauty of the land, the golden dunes, the vast, endless horizons. But beneath this picturesque facade lies a nation where freedom is a privilege, not a right, and where many are still shackled by customs that dictate their fates before they can even speak for themselves. This is a land of paradoxes, where women are both revered and restricted, where divorce is both empowerment and exploitation, where slavery is both illegal and deeply ingrained. And as the world continues to move forward, one must ask, will Mauritania find the strength to break free from the chains of its past, or will it remain trapped in the shadows of its own history? Before we go any further, if you want to help shed light on these hidden realities, take just 10 seconds to hit that subscribe button. Your support allows us to continue exploring and exposing stories that matter. Together, we can make a difference by bringing awareness to those who have none. The stories of Mauritania are not just tales of hardship, they are cries for change. And the question remains, who will listen? The battle for freedom in Mauritania is far from over, and the world cannot simply turn its back on this place. The reality of life here is one that many struggle to comprehend. In a world that prides itself on modernity, what does it truly mean to live in a contemporary society? For many in Mauritania, the answer is more complex than it seems. The hidden truths of this land remain largely undiscovered, veiled behind cultural traditions that have persisted for centuries. Deep in the isolated villages of the Sahara, shocking revelations unfold. In the desert town of Tyre, a place rarely spoken of in global news, a significant portion of the population suffers from blindness. This condition is not merely a result of accidents or infectious diseases, but also linked to genetic abnormalities that are particularly prevalent in this region. Scientists and medical professionals have studied this phenomenon extensively, hypothesizing that it is caused by genetic mutations, possibly a form of degenerative retinal disorder that gradually leads to complete blindness. Due to the high rate of consanguineous marriages within the community, these genetic mutations have been passed down for generations, exacerbating the problem. Mauritania is a land where ancient traditions intertwine with modern influences, creating a culture that is both captivating and deeply complex. For those seeking to understand its heritage, it offers a unique experience rich with Arabic customs and Islamic values. Daily life is steeped in traditions that demand unwavering respect. For example, the right hand holds special significance, while the left hand is reserved strictly for personal hygiene and considered unclean. Modesty is paramount. Women are expected to cover their arms and legs, and even visitors must adhere to these customs to avoid offending the local population. Men, too, must follow strict dress codes, always wearing long pants regardless of the scorching desert heat. Shorts are considered highly inappropriate, and even social interactions are governed by strict etiquette. When greeting a woman, men must wait for her to initiate a handshake, or else resort to a respectful nod or placing a hand over the chest. Health and safety are major concerns for visitors. Access to clean water is essential. Bottled water or purified sources should always be chosen, and one must be cautious of tap water, especially in beverages. Street food containing ice should be avoided, with preference given to reputable restaurants that locals trust. Understanding these nuances is crucial for anyone looking to navigate Mauritania's unique cultural landscape. Beyond the surface of these traditions lies an often overlooked reality: the impact of polygamy. In Mauritania, a man may take up to 4 wives, and polygamy is often seen as a symbol of status and power. However, beneath this long-standing tradition lies a painful truth for many women. Within the household, co-wives become rivals, competing for their husband's attention and financial resources. This competition fosters resentment and conflict, leaving many women trapped in lives they cannot control. The financial burden of maintaining multiple households is immense, especially for impoverished families with limited access to education or employment. For many women, survival depends entirely on their husbands, leading to a cycle of dependency, helplessness, and quiet suffering. The structure of Mauritanian society is deeply entrenched in tradition, making it difficult to break free from the challenges imposed by polygamy. As the modern world continues to evolve, the clash between contemporary realities and age-old customs becomes increasingly evident, exposing the harsh truths of life for many Mauritanian women. Mauritania is a land of resilience, where life is both captivating and challenging. Positioned on the edge of West Africa, this nation is defined by stark contrasts: a vast Atlantic coastline on one side and the unforgiving Sahara Desert on the other. It borders Mali and Senegal, with a population of approximately 4.5 million, nearly half of whom are young Arabs, Berbers, and sub-Saharan Africans coexisting with their own distinct cultural heritages. Despite its rich traditions, life in Mauritania remains fraught with hardship. The country continues to grapple with resource scarcity and public health crises, making daily survival an ongoing struggle. Yet, through it all, the resilience of the Mauritanian people shines. They continue to endure, adapting to one of the harshest environments on Earth with unwavering determination. Their spirit is a testament to human endurance, an inspiring force that persists despite the challenges they face. I have learned the fundamental rule of the desert. During the day, the heat is relentless, and at night, the cold bites deep. Daily life on this land is a continuous struggle against the elements, a battle for survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Yet, the resilience of the Mauritanian people appears almost supernatural as they navigate the unforgiving sands of the Sahara. The true masters of this land are primarily the Arab and Berber nomads. These desert lords have roamed for generations, passing down ancient wisdom through the ages. The vast dunes that stretch endlessly are more than just landscapes. They are part of a heritage, a living history encoded in the footsteps of those who traverse them. With astonishing precision, these people navigate by the stars and interpret the whispers of the wind, reading the desert like an open book. To an outsider, the land seems barren and hostile, but to them, it is home, filled with hidden resources and vital sustenance. Even in the most desolate places, they find water and grazing lands, guiding their caravans laden with goods across the sands, ensuring a deep connection between land and community. In this environment, survival is not a solitary feat. It thrives on cooperation, shared resources, and mutual support. The iconic goatskin tents and the rhythmic, unhurried gait of camels symbolize not just a way of life but centuries of adaptation and endurance. This intricate dance between humanity and the elements defines Mauritania, where existence itself seems to defy the odds. Yet, resilience here is not without its shadows. The desert, like Mauritanian society, holds unspoken truths beneath its shifting sands. The challenges are immense, layered with complexities that go beyond the immediate battle against nature. Beneath the surface lies a world of deep social and economic struggles, where tradition and modernity constantly collide. The struggles of desert life. Living in the heart of Mauritania's desert demands an intricate balance between man, beast, and the land. For the nomads, their survival is intricately linked to their animals, particularly goats and camels. These creatures are more than mere livestock. They are life-givers. Goats, incredibly resilient, provide sustenance through their milk, which is not only consumed fresh but also transformed into cheese and butter. In an ingenious display of adaptation, nomads have developed methods to preserve milk by burying it in the cool sands, creating hardened dairy stones that can last through the brutal summer months. The camel, however, reigns supreme. It is not just a beast of burden, but a symbol of prestige and wealth, deeply embedded in the cultural fabric of Mauritania. Perfectly adapted to the harsh terrain, camels carry goods and people across the desert, their endurance unmatched. Their milk and meat sustain families, their hides become shelter, and their very presence dictates the fortunes of entire communities. To own camels is to possess security, power, and status, making them an indispensable part of desert life. But despite their intimate knowledge of the land, even the most experienced nomads are not immune to the desert's wrath. Sandstorms rise without warning, their swirling tendrils blotting out the sky and turning day into night. Water sources dry up, forcing families to undertake perilous journeys in search of sustenance. And as climate change shifts the balance, making droughts more frequent and resources scarcer, the age-old ways of life are increasingly under threat. The wonders and mysteries of Mauritania. Though it may seem barren at first glance, Mauritania harbors some of the most breathtaking and mysterious landscapes on Earth. One of its most extraordinary natural wonders is the Eye of the Sahara, also known as the Rikat structure. Spanning 30 miles in diameter, this massive geological formation is so vast that it can be seen from space. Its concentric rings, etched into the Earth over millions of years, have baffled scientists and explorers alike. Is it an impact crater? A collapsed volcanic dome? Theories abound, but the truth remains elusive, adding to its enigmatic allure. Beyond the Eye of the Sahara, the desert reveals more of its secrets. Towering rock formations stand like sentinels against the shifting sands, their weathered faces carved by time itself. The Valley of Timert, a rare oasis in this arid land, bursts with unexpected biodiversity. Here, desert foxes with oversized ears navigate the dunes, and long-necked jerboas, masters of adaptation, dissipate heat through their delicate limbs. Even venomous snakes and hardy scorpions have carved a niche for themselves in this unforgiving expanse, a testament to nature's relentless will to survive. Further south, the Banque d'Arguin National Park emerges as a sanctuary of life. A place of staggering biodiversity, it is home to vast tidal flats and shifting islands, hosting one of the world's most important migratory bird reserves. Millions of birds find refuge here, traveling from as far as Europe and Siberia, making it a critical link in the planet's ecological chain. This thriving haven stands in stark contrast to the desert's severity, proving that even in the harshest places, life finds a way. A journey like no other. Mauritania's landscapes are as formidable as they are mesmerizing, and those who seek adventure will find no shortage of challenges. Perhaps the most extreme experience of all is riding the iron or train, one of the longest and most grueling railway journeys in the world. Stretching nearly 2 miles in length, this train cuts through the heart of the Sahara, carrying raw iron from the mines of Zourat to the Atlantic coast. For those daring enough to climb aboard, it is an endurance test like no other. With searing daytime heat, freezing desert nights, and relentless winds whipping fine sand into every crevice, the journey is both brutal and unforgettable. Yet, for many Mauritanians, it is a lifeline, a means of transport, and a link between the desolate interior and the bustling coast. Mauritania is a land of stark contrasts, a place where ancient traditions persist alongside modern struggles, where the vast emptiness of the desert conceals deep cultural richness. Its people embody resilience, adapting with ingenuity and unyielding spirit. To visit this land is to witness a living testament to survival, a place where history and nature intertwine in ways both beautiful and brutal. If you found this journey through Mauritania fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories from around the world. Your support means the world to us. And if you're eager to continue exploring, click on the next video appearing on your screen now. Until next time, let us know in the comments which country you'd like us to visit next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next adventure.